Hi, I'm Jude, and today we'll be going over English Enlightenment thinker John Locke. And yes, I'm recording this at 6 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, unfortunately. So we'll specifically go over his philosophies, views on politics, and views on society. So John Locke argued that individuals possess natural rights to life, that being life, liberty, and property, and that governments exist to protect these rights through a social contract with the people. Rejecting absolute monarchy, Locke advocated for limited government accountable to the governed, with laws created by collective consent. His ideal society was a civil society, where justice and social order were maintained through mutual respect and laws that safeguard freedom and serve the common good. So John Locke's philosophy centers on the social contract, as I mentioned, where individuals consent to government solely to protect their natural rights. Unlike Thomas Hobbes, Locke believed a healthy society arises from government by collective agreement, not absolute rule. In Locke's civil societies, the government's role is to uphold laws and protect rights, deriving its powers from people's consent. He emphasized that citizens retain the right to challenge and replace any government that failed its duties. Locke saw, Locke saw government as necessary for order, but potentially tyrannical if unchecked, advocating for limits and accountability to preserve a just and equitable society. Locke championed religious tolerance and the separation of the church and the state to protect individual freedoms and ensure just governance. He argued that the state should not impose religious belief, advocating for secular lawmaking based on democratic principles and inclusivity. Although personally Anglican, Locke believed governments must remain neutral in matters of faith to prevent conflict and protect liberties. His ideas greatly influenced modern legal systems, promoting laws grounded in reason and consent rather than religious doctrine. Locke criticized absolute monarchy for leading to tyranny and violating individual rights, advocating instead for limited government based on consent. He believed legitimate governance arises from a social contract that restricts state power to protect natural rights. Locke emphasized that rulers must be held accountable and derive their authority from the people's will, with government serving to maintain order and safeguard rights rather than being inherently good or evil. John Locke viewed the right to revolt as a check against tyranny, justified when a government fails to protect natural rights. He believes that individuals, being rational and morally aware, have the right to resist and overthrow unjust or illegitimate rulers. Rebellion was deemed legitimate if the government breaches the social contract or enforces systemic inequality. Locke argued that citizens must act to restore justice and balance, emphasizing that rebellion is both a right and a duty when the government abuses their power. John Locke saw legislative authority as essential for a just society, requiring that laws be created by representatives that are elected, reflecting the people's will. He argued that laws must be based on consents, serve the common good, protect natural rights, and be applied equally. While the legislator should hold supreme lawmaking power, it must operate within the social contract, ensuring laws align with public interests and maintain accountability. Locke believed that laws should regulate behavior to respect individual freedom and uphold social order, with any deviation from this bounds breaching the social contract. John Locke's economic views centered on his theory of property, which held that individuals gain ownership through their labor, transforming natural resources into personal assets. He justified private property as long as it did not disadvantage others and avoided waste. However, Locke's endorsement of slavery also reveals his support for slavery in colonial context, which undermines his principle of equality and liberty. John Locke believed that punishment should preserve societal order and protect individual rights. I think we're seeing a theme here, with penalties proportional to offenses and aimed at restoring balance. While he supported consequences for wrongdoers, Locke was very wary of capital punishment, endorsing its use only in extreme cases that threatened civil society. His approach emphasized proportionality and fairness, ensuring that punishments would respect individual rights and maintain the social contract. So John Locke's human rights philosophy focused on natural rights as inherent to all individuals and essential for legitimate government. While he acknowledged that women, like men, possess reason and should participate in family decisions, Locke did not extend his advocacy for rights to challenge gender inequality broadly. His writings did not explicitly address gender equality, but modern interpretations of his ideas have been used to support it and the idea that Locke's theory of the right to revolt can be applied to women as well. Thank you.